Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, bonjour. My name is Matt Connolly. I'm the founder and CEO of Sonar. As part of our 2021 Insurance Market Trends series, I had the great pleasure of being joined by Éric Allombert, who is the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer at Wakam. Éric, bonjour.
Bonjour, Matt. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
I'm very happy to be speaking English with you as well. Next time we'll have the interview in French, I promise. But
Okay.
Éric, to kick things off, could you make a quick introduction to yourself? So who is Éric standing in front of me here?
I'm a marketer. All my career was done in marketing, and I started my career in a telecom operator for 15 years doing marketing and innovation and offers for end consumers. So it was a B2C type of work. And then I changed the sector, and I joined the insurance, and I joined AXA Partners, still as a marketer and selling insurance through partners in B2B2C. And 2 years ago, I joined Wakam, this digital European insurer, also as head of marketing and communication. One of my first job was to rebrand actually La Parisienne Assurance, which was the name of Wakam by then, into Wakam.
Thanks, Éric. And for those who don't know Wakam, tell me more about Wakam in particular. How did I'm particularly interested in the reinvention from La Parisienne Assurance, and forgive my accent, through to Wakam, and how Wakam is now one of the fastest growing companies across Europe.
Yes, we used to be called La Parisienne Assurance, indeed, because the company was launched in 1829, so nearly 200 years ago. But the interesting point is that we pivoted really in 2015, so 6 years ago, and we decided to scrap all the old system that we had and start from scratch with a new IT and because our CEO Olivier Jaillon had this vision that the world was changing and the insurance will also change, and the distribution of the insurance will also change, because the society was moving from a society where property was everywhere, but it would go to usage-based type of economy. So anyway, he wanted to change that. So he decided to concentrate on the value chain of creating insurance products, digital insurance products, and to sell and distribute these insurance products through partners, distributors, either as insurance specialists like brokers or MGAs or Insurtechs, or non-insurance specialists like brands or e-retailers. So that was the idea, and so to sell those products in white label through these distributors. So that was 6 years ago. So we built a new technology platform with a data hub, with a blockchain. The blockchain technology for smart contracts, and an API also portal for all our products. So that was 6 years ago, and since then it really worked very well. We've been growing for the past 6 years of over 31% of average growth rate, and now to reach over 400 million euros of premium, with a presence in 13 European countries. And we have over 100 partners and over 350 partnerships over Europe, pan-European deals, and or in those countries. So that's an amazing transformation in 6 years.
Sure it is. As you know, I write So News every fortnight. It's an email newsletter. For those who don't read it, and invariably I'm always talking about Wakam and another new partnership or another new set of partnerships. And we tracked, I think it's 51 partnerships this year, and counting, and we may be a few out of date already, right? But tell me, I mean, so one of the things that we've seen over the last quarter, but certainly over the last 6 months, is a great shift from for incumbent insurers to move towards this open innovation, this partnerships model with startups, and it's a real ability for them to leapfrog their competition and accelerate their either transformation or innovation journeys. I understand strategically you're talking about Olivier's vision for the business and why partnerships are so important, but I'd love to go a little deeper into that. But in particular, how do you manage to achieve successful partnerships at such scale? Because I don't know any other company that's able to do that, or is ambitious enough to be trying to do that.
Well, we have the technology, of course, but we also especially have the methodology to onboard all new partnerships. We usually do roughly 15 to 16 new partnerships per month that are presented, and we actually go all the way through half of them roughly at the end, and that's why we made 51 partnerships this year. Overall, 350 partnerships since we changed our model. So this methodology is key. So we like to say that we are a product factory to test new products and new risks with new partners, especially with Insurtech, but not only them. And we try to quickly build the products and launch the products to market and then see if it works or not. So we're able, thanks to this methodology, to launch products in 6 weeks roughly. So there's 4 steps in that methodology. The first one is to, of course, to talk with a partner and see what he wants to do, what would be the product, how it would be distributed, and stuff like that. And once this is done, we present a framework of the project to the whole company. Everybody's from accounting to communication, of course, to pricing and finance. Anyway, is voting for this partnership, whether to approve it or not to approve it. So that first step is very important because everybody sees the products and understand what it is. It's a very interesting way of working. Once this is approved, we go to the second phase. It's more a phase where we build the product. So we build the product with the coverages, the exclusion, the price, of course. And once this is approved with the partners, this is the end of the second phase, and we go into the third phase, which is more we build the products, we build the API, we plug we connect all the information system with the partners, with EDI, for example, or API, and then we launch the products in the fourth phase, and we have then a dashboard to follow the technical results of the product. But through all these 4 stages, we have a tool like an intranet where we actually exchange all the data, all the documents with the partners, and we can do all that from afar, from our computers, from home, which is very practical, and especially in these COVID times. And that is why we're able to carry on signing new deals in 2020 and 2021.
Amazing. I assume, so it's a phenomenal story. I listened last week. I don't know if it was an old webinar or relatively new, but I listened to a great interview with Olivier and Sten Saar from Ziggo.
Yeah.
When I don't know when it was recorded, as I say, but they were talking about with all great things, there's always a learning journey, and it wasn't such a smooth start to a relationship, not necessarily turbulent either, but the end result is phenomenally successful for both parties. And I assume if you're taking an approach of an experimental approach, some things you're okay that some things don't work out, as long as other things do, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's the idea. Actually, we don't hesitate to work with small startups. But of course, when we choose the startups, we have like a specific screening that we do. We look at the team, of course, whether they have backgrounds in insurance or as an entrepreneur. We look at the capacity to do business and And of course, we look at the vision they have and the model that they want to do. So that's some sort of screening, of course, of these startups. And when we believe in the model, in the team, and in the vision, and then we vote, and we go. We met with Sten and the Ziggo team at the end of 2018, when they were just a small company and not yet a unicorn, and that was a bet. But it was also a feeling and a fit between Sten and Olivier, my CEO. It's always a human journey in these type of partnerships. They have to like each other, to trust each other, and that's very important. And it worked very, very well. So we hope that we do the same with other company. In the UK, we work with Hero, with GetSafe, with Cuva, Insure, even though they are German, but in English. So we're betting on those companies to be the insurer. I mean, to be the builder of the insurance of tomorrow, and that is very important for us. So we have this vision of the insurance of tomorrow will be transparent, will be customer centric, will be flexible, will be digital. So we try to work with these people, with this company, what we call the winner of tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. So. Of course. So so taking that a little further, so the winner of tomorrow. So I would love your view on the market. So I know you consume certainly the information that we put out as Sona, but also a wealth of other stuff that's available. And of course, you're living on the front line of this with Wakam. So I'd love maybe a look back on the last 6 months and in terms of your view on the market, where mindset has changed in this kind of as we're hopefully coming out of this this world of COVID, but also kind of the look forward into the next 6 months. And I'd love to hear just at a kind of general broad market level, but also anything in particular that you want to share from a Wakam perspective as well would be great.
Well, at Wakam, we very much believe in what we call the embedded insurance. And that's a part of the vision of our CEO. As I mentioned earlier, that we believe that the society is moving from a proprietary type of society to a usage-based type of society, especially for the young people. You know, they rent most of the stuff now, like e-scooter, like houses, even jewelries, clothes, whatever. So there is new usage and there are new risks, and these new usages and risks, they need to be addressed, and that is where the insurers have a key role to play. Embedded insurance is the insurance that you actually buy with the product or services that you use, either buy or rent. And also when you have a claim, it's an insurance where the claim is much easier, simpler, for example, with parametric type of products. So that is the vision. And we've been launching many embedded insurance, either in the mobility sector, a lot of them, but also in the housing and travel type of markets. So we believe it's a very, very large market, and you probably know this study from Simon Terrence saying that it will be like a 700 billion premium market in 2030, I think, but we really believe it's a huge market. So I don't want to be very specific in one or two products because there are so many. But the one that we did, for example, with Cover and Revolut, which is typical of an embedded product because it's with the premium card of Revolut that we provide an embedded insurance for the purchases that they do with the card, you know, for theft or damages, for example. And we have also another deal that we like to mention. It's a deal with Jewels. It's an insurance against theft that is embedded in the digital certificate that goes with the jewel when you buy it. So you buy the jewel, and if you get stolen, then you just have to make a declaration to the police and then send this declaration to our customer space, and then everything is automated. You can we pay the company who produces the ring, and they build another one for you, and you just have to go to a store to get the ring. So this is typically embedded. You buy the ring, it's embedded. And even if you sell the ring, it's still embedded. It goes to the other customer. So that's an example.
It sounds lovely, doesn't it? And that's a really different way to look at the world of insurance. And it's
yeah, but we still,
I don't want to be too sycophantic to Wakam, but it's great to see. It really is.
It's the ultimate protection. You're protected without knowing it, and because it's embedded and everywhere, it's cheaper also. It's because there's some sort of mutualization. So it's more transparent and faster.
What do you think? So because embedded is getting a lot of conversation, and it's something that we're witnessing in our in the market trends that we're seeing, of course, of the last quarter, but as a kind of prediction for the market, because there's so much conversation around the threat of big tech and retailers and even reinsurance. Kind of just it's not about taking the market as we know it away from the carriers, but fundamentally changing the dynamics of the market to almost to the point where either the carriers as we know them will move to just claim and pay providers, or they'll become obsolete or irrelevant. In terms of your position in the market, you've got yourself in a really healthy spot. Are you also looking at the potential threat from the Amazons coming in or the banks moving into insurance, and how do you what do you do with that information in terms of kind of your strategic direction?
We believe that these are more partners for us in the future. With the model that we have, that we make the product and we look for distributors. They are what we call non-specialist distributors, looking for a new business or a way to differentiate themselves through insurance, for example. So we would be glad to work with them, with the Amazon, with the Uber, with Airbnb, Revolut, with whom we work with. I mentioned a few of them, but we actually work with most of them. So that's the idea, that we help also those key players, those platforms to sell insurance and to have a cushion. I don't know if you said like we help we help them with the reputation because we are an insurer, so it's easier for them also to sell that. But the market is a big market. It's we like what we call co-opetition, because you can see we work with the brokers. Some of them say that they are insurer, or they're really insurers, others are not, but they are selling insurance. But it does not matter. We are all working together, and that competition is key actually, because we mentioned innovation, and the innovation comes from all of these different partners who know their clients probably better than we know, either distributors if they're just MGAs, or end consumers if they are direct distributors. So this market is and innovation comes from all that. I hope I was clear, but
no, you were. It's perfect. What do you think? Because one of the things that we spend a lot of time doing, and I personally spend a lot of time doing, is standing in front of boardrooms, or now sort of virtually, maybe more so, talking about the future of the industry and the importance of innovation. And in particular, we talk market trends, so whether it's embedded or strategic trends such as open innovation, so partnering with startups. For those companies who are yet to embrace innovation or exploring kind of the route of partnerships with startups, what is your message, or what is your view on how successful those businesses will be? Because I see a wait and see strategy that they're employing, where at some point they will look to buy in, or they will look to try and create some innovation activity, but they won't have the innovation muscle to respond, if that translates. What are your thoughts on those who are yet to take the lead and take the drive, and who don't have the CEOs such as Olivier, who are really pushing this stuff?
Well, I would say that innovation is at the heart of everything, of business, of development, and It's very important, especially in the world that we know that is constantly moving and changing, with new usages, new risks. So you have to innovate. Go for it. Either you innovate by yourself if you can, or you can also cooperate, work with other companies or Insurtech or startups, which are very specialized in one chain of the value chain, for example. So don't hesitate. We do that all the time because our own model is open by definition, because we are making the products, but we sell these products through distributors. So we like to say that we are a platform. So we are connected through API with these distributors, but we also delegate the claims management or the contracts management with partners. So it's the same. We have to be connected to them, and we also have like a blockchain, as I mentioned, to automate part of our claims and contract management. So this is also a way of being open and using open innovation. So that's I think it's key.
Cool. Okay, let me ask you if I have room for two more
Sure.
questions. I'd love to talk to you about blockchain. So again, over the last 3 months, we've seen a lot of interest and activity, both in terms of where we're seeing money being invested, but also in conversations with clients. Time and time again, and so forgive us, we use Wakam as a great exemplar of a business that embraced blockchain early. Could you give me more shape on what and how you use blockchain within the business and the benefit it has for your clients?
Sure. And well, this is another era where our CEO Olivier Jarion was convinced that technology is key also to innovation, and he loves new technology, and blockchain, in his opinion, was very important for insurers, because most of our business, we actually transfer value from different partners, from the partners, from the reinsurers, for the policy holder, be it the commissions or the premiums. So it's very important to have a technology that helps us secure this type of transaction. So obviously blockchain is transparent and very secure. So he was very keen on using that technology. We started in 2017 with that, with a private blockchain, which was called chain.com. That no longer exists, I think, or it's a public blockchain now. So we moved to Quorum, which is part of the Ethereum technology for our blockchain, and we use it to manage, as I mentioned, claims and contracts, mostly for parametrics products, and we use smart contracts. So for some of the products, once there is a trigger by an oracle, what we call an oracle, being a database or an IoT or a trusted third party that tells us that there was an event, and then through the API, it goes through the smart contracts that analyzes the trigger, and then that triggers also the payment, for example. So we're doing that for flight delays, for example, also for a payment in 3 installments when there is one of the installments that is not paid. So we are also noticed, and then we pay the merchants. We do that also for weather type of insurance, for crops or restaurants that want to insure themselves for too sunny or too dry type of weather. So now we have over 550,000 smart contracts in our blockchain. So we believe in technology, and even there's still a lot to do around blockchain. Sure. And also for our partners, to reassure them, because it is working, and we always want to be first on this new technology, and to be.
No, it's great to hear. The too sunny thing is never a problem for us in England. That's not something we need to insure.
They would not sell that insurance, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, be it that like said, MVP, but still.
Sure. I was in Edinburgh this weekend to watch the rugby. The Lions were playing rugby up there before they go to South Africa, and I managed to get sunburned And I must be the only person who can go to Scotland and get sunburned, but hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you, Éric, if I may.
Sure.
So it's a question about Wakam and the future of Wakam. So over the last few years, you've built a very technologically enabled business that has grown rapidly across the European market. What I guess the very simple question is, what's next? So what can we expect to see over the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years from Wakam?
So, well, I would say more of the same, doing more pan-European type of deal, because if we want to work with the platforms I mentioned, beyond GAFAM, but large new players like the one for the grocery deliveries, for example, that where we believe a lot, or others like that. We have to have a European print, European footholds, right, in every country. So that's will be in more and more countries. So we have a lot of licenses in most of the countries, but not in all the countries and not all the licenses. So we're starting to get those licenses to be able to be everywhere in Europe, to be a real pan-European actor on these with these new partners. So more business, and as I mentioned, we really believe there's an infinite market for us.
Éric, it has been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. That was very happy. Thank
Good
you.
stuff.